Hello everyone. I'm back with another video, and today we're watching scary animations again. Halloween's coming up, so I started to make some scary posters for now, because I scare myself a bunch. And since I like scaring myself a lot, why not do my scary stuff? So right now, we'll be doing this first spooky one. And right now, let's get into the video. First spooky one. What's the first one? I'm wearing a Halloween mask, too. From a Halloween costume. Oh, that's nice. I used to think so no one can see my face. Okay, right now, let's get into the first video. First one's called The Shabby Apartment. Ooh. It's my second one. Shabby Apartment.
I am in my mid-40s. This is what happened nearly 20 years ago. One day, I visited one of my friends at his apartment, which was very old and shabby.
Very old and shabby.
There was an entrance to an elevator in the center of the corridor.
That's really nice.
I can't remember well, but my friend lived in unit 701 or 801 on the 7th or 8th floor. So looking at the apartment building from outside the main entrance, his house was on the far left end. One summer day, my friend said he was alone and didn't have any plans. So we called two of our friends and had a drinking party. The four of us had been drinking since the early evening, and just before passing out, we all lied on the floor, turned the lights on, and started talking. While talking to each other, a beam of street light entered through the window and was shining on the ceiling. I guess the street lights on the first floor of the apartment complex were on. Of course, we were talking while gazing at the ceiling. All of a sudden, the white ceiling turned black, as if something covered up the light. At that moment, we looked out the window while crouching down. Someone with a creepy vibe was hanging on a steel bar outside the window. Since the light was shining from behind that person, we could not see his face clearly. Then, after making an unidentifiable gesture, he smiled, showing his white teeth without making a sound. We were so shocked at that moment that we stopped talking and were frozen with silence. Suddenly, one of us picked up an empty bottle of wine and ran toward the window shouting, "Kill that bastard!" But the creepy guy had disappeared. After a few minutes, we went out of the apartment to see where he had gone, but we could not find him. We could only hear his stomping footsteps, and assumed he entered the corridor and went down the stairs. Going down the stairs is the only way that stomping sound could be made. It sounded like he descended to the first floor and was walking around, so we followed down the stairs looking for him, but quickly returned to the apartment, still filled with fear. At first, we thought it must have been a robber or some crazy guy laughing in front of the window. But when we came back to our friend's house, we were all shocked.
He was dead? He's dead.
The distance between the end of the corridor and the window of our friend's apartment was too long for someone hanging onto the steel window bar to jump across. Only a crazy person would try and fall to their death. Ordinary people can't even hold on to the steel bar. We thought that maybe someone had committed suicide by jumping from the roof of the apartment and cut the steel bar while falling. So we went down to the first floor to see if a body was there, but there wasn't a single trace. After that experience, I never visited his house again.
Imagine being in your friend's shabby apartment. No, this is all his fault. He's living in a shabby apartment. He's living somewhere else, dude. In a luxury apartment. Yeah. Oh, no. He can't live in there because he's homeless. The White House says he's living in a shabby apartment. Ghosts. Anyway, next one. It says home invasion.
I am a 19-year-old male, and this happened many years ago when I was very young. To give you an idea of the layout of our house back then, the living room has multiple windows that directly look out onto the back garden. There's a big gate in our driveway to stop anyone from getting in.
That was, guys. It went like
Next to
right
the
past
living
me.
room is the kitchen, which also has more windows, but also the back door. This will be relevant to this story.
Why did I do that?
So my mother was completing the household chores as she does one day. I was sitting in the living room watching television on the sofa with my back to the living room windows. All of a sudden, I saw a figure reflecting off of the picture frame hanging on the wall opposite the window. I asked my mom if my dad was back from work, to which she said no. I'll never ever forget the look of horror on her face when I told her that yes, he was. He's in the garden. She looked outside the window and almost had a heart attack when she saw a scruffy-looking,
I can't do it.
man outside the living room window. This didn't seem to faze him at all, though.
I can't look at his
He
face.
psychotically smiled at my mother through the glass, and my mom asked him what he was doing on our property. He said nothing, with the same sadistic smirk on his face. She said that she was going to call.
Everyone's true nightmare. Seeing an ugly guy on your porch. If I saw that man on the porch, I'm immediately calling 911. I'm like, hello? There's a stupid man on my property. No. He's probably gonna be arrested for looking too ugly.
Police, and what he said is one of the scariest things I've ever heard. He screamed at my mother through the glass that if she even got her phone out, that he would break the glass. She did not know what to do. She paused and tried to rapidly think of what to do next, how to keep us both safe. She wanted to protect me by calling the police, but she also didn't want him to hurt me if she did try to call them. As soon as he saw that she was terrified, he ran for the back door. Luckily, it was locked because my mom has always been a paranoid person, so she always locks the doors. He screamed at...
Oh, dude, don't scream. She's probably screaming, Candyman, no! I know, dude, it's hard. Yeah, I know electronic things, just kill them to get electronic. I know it sucks, dude. Parents telling you to read.
Her to let him in, or if she didn't...
Jeez, stop it, dude, calm down.
Find a way in and kill us both. My mother told him to fuck off. She reached him, and he pulled out a pocket knife and
No, I can't do it. I can't do it.
I was still oblivious to what was happening, as I just thought it was my dad. I was very young. My mom frantically grabbed me, and I don't mean picked me up. She literally grabbed me off the sofa and booked it up the stairs. We were backing up in the upstairs hallway, looking for anywhere to hide, when my mom's younger brother popped out of his room with his headphones on. My mom didn't even realize he was home, and he clearly didn't hear the commotion downstairs because of his headphones. My uncle was 25 at the time and was really well built. He's intimidated a lot of people. My mom cried and told him that there's a guy who's trying to break in. While she's telling him this, that creepy lunatic screamed from downstairs that he was in the house. He said cynically, "Boogeyman is coming out to get you," which really freaked me out. It freaked me out so much that I actually remember that to this day. Anyway, since the guy didn't know my uncle was home, he kept yelling and telling us to come out and that it wouldn't be painful. My uncle told us to lock ourselves in the bathroom and call the police. We did, and after 5 minutes of groaning and blatant violence downstairs, the police stormed in and found the guy bloodied and my uncle on top of him, beating him mercilessly. My uncle really didn't hold back. Turns out that he was a known pedophile, which is why he was watching me for so long while I was watching TV. After that day, my mom was terrified to be home alone at the house.
I loved it as a child because I found the running and hiding fun, obviously because I was young. I can never thank my uncle enough for being there at the right time when my mother clearly forgot that he was still home. It honestly gives me chills, wondering what he would have done to my mother and myself if my uncle was not there.
No way, dude. This is why you don't stay home alone. This is why you don't trust creeps. Yeah, don't trust them at all. Oh, those people. Man, I hate it when those happen. What's the next one? Wait. Is this why he's strong? He plays too much basketball. What the? Okay, this is weird.
I work at a pizza joint in Chicago, and I unfortunately have the shitty responsibility of delivering pizzas, usually on the weekends, usually at night. I've asked my boss for day shifts, but she seems to ignore my request.
You didn't see the S word, he said day.
Give me whatever shifts I don't want the most. I know being a pizza delivery man is somewhat of a dangerous job, but I never imagined anything like what happened to me a few months ago could actually happen. There is this one customer that always calls in and acts strange as hell on the phone. Sometimes he will just hang up on you. Sometimes he'll order pizzas normally, but make crazy sounds while he does, and then hang up. We've always thought this guy was just an idiot playing pranks. He would make really weird comments too, like, I want to order a large pizza with pineapples, mustard, and your skin. I'll never forget that one. We usually just hang up on his ass now, and we always know it's him calling because his number is saved in our system. So we called again a few months ago to order pizza normally. No bullshit, no weird comments or sounds. His address too. I thought it would be interesting to finally deliver to this guy, and when I drove up to his house, it was something you'd see in a scary movie. Old as hell looking place right on the line where we don't deliver. Not in the busy part of the city where most of our orders come in. The house looked like it was about 100 years old, and there were no lights on that I could see. I wasn't scared or anything, just looking forward to seeing what he looked like. When I went to the front door, I rang the bell, but it wasn't working, so I knocked. I realized I forgot the guy's soda, and thought he'd give me shit for sure, or just freak out on me. Nobody answered right away, so I knocked again on this big door. He opened up after that second time. He was wearing this weird-looking mask around his mouth.
Guys, I hear weird noises around my house, and I don't like it. Oh, I can't do it. I hate scary movies. Why do I keep doing this to myself?
Only his mouth. His eyes were opened wide, and I told him how much the pizza was, and that I was sorry I forgot the drink. He looked down, I think, and then said it's okay, and then looked at me again. I stood there looking at him for like 5 seconds in silence when I got bored of his shit and told him the amount again. He said okay, and then asked me, has anyone ever attacked me before? I told him no, and if they did, they'd be sorry. He then took off his mask that was covering his mouth.
I paused it at the wrong time. Not the right. Wrong. Why don't you pause it? That was stupid. What the? Comment the rules. Daddy, were you human? Millions of dollars.
And he had big-ass scars all around his mouth.
Bad words in
I have no idea what they were from, and can't even imagine what they might have been from. But he was seriously messed up. He smiled at me, and his lips were all cracked. I noticed he wasn't about to hand me some money, so I told him I was leaving. I turned around and started walking down the steps, and he screamed at me and slammed the door. This bastard was crazy, and I don't think any of his shit was to be funny. That final scream he gave me was creepy as hell, even though I kind of expected him to do something like that. He has called several times since then, and we always just tell him now that he is on our no-delivery list. He usually just screams and hangs up, or cusses out whoever is on the phone. I was on some...
Okay. That means this is 6. I don't know how many animes you have watched by now. Hastily. So right now, let's do our next one. Camping.
And went camping with my friend, his parents. We went to the lake during the day and did the s'mores thing at night. His parents shared a tent while my friend and I had our own. I can't remember where the campsite was, and I'm not really in contact with my friend anymore. But 15 years later, I'm assuming it wasn't the safest place to camp. Here's why. I woke up sometime in the early morning, like 3 or 4 a.m., and immediately saw a man's face looking in the tent at us. He had unzipped the door just enough to stick his head inside. He looked absolutely insane. He had big eyes and wild hair. I was so stiff from fear, I literally couldn't do anything. The man kept moving his head from left to right, very, very slowly, as if it was uncontrollable. I guess my friend could hear me breathing loudly or something, because he woke up too. He had the same reaction as me, and just laid there in terror, looking at this mysterious man. I'm not certain how long he was sitting there looking at us, but it felt like hours, shaking his head back and forth. At some point, we heard a noise close by, and so did the man. He disappeared quick, and a couple minutes later we got out of our tent and woke up his parents. The guy was long gone. I'm still afraid of camping to this day.
Guys, this is why you don't go camping in the middle of nowhere, okay? Don't go camping, it's bad! Because you can see a guy's face out of your tent. And after seeing that, you're never going camping again. So trust me, don't go camping. Or you seeing one of these guys' face. True, not that.
A few years ago, I was driving from Texas to Louisiana to help my dad move, when I stopped at this tiny, crappy motel right off the highway. It was very late at night,
okay, guys?
and it was the only option I could see. I don't remember the person who checked me in at all. I was so drowsy I could barely keep my eyes open. All I remember is sitting on the bed, kicking off my boots, and noticing that my room was connected to another room. I saw that the lock on that door was turned to the right, which looked like the locked position to me, and I fell backwards and passed out on the bed. At some point, I turned my body and laid on the bed fully. I don't remember when or how long I had been sleeping. Then, I was awoken in the most terrifying way imaginable. A sharp object was stabbed into my back. I screamed and rolled off the bed. I looked and just barely caught a glimpse of what looked like a very skinny man with long, greasy hair run through the door that connected our rooms. I was taken to the hospital after I ran into the parking lot screaming, and the paramedic removed a letter opener from my back.
A letter opener.
I never returned to the motel, and I have no idea what happened or who it was.
Okay, guys, that's gonna be the end of the video. Yeah. This is why you don't do anything so bad. Whoa. And what the heck happened? Anyway, remember the thing you saw? Comment what that was. and get $500 million. Yeah, boy, let's go. Anyway, another way to earn millions, $50 million is by liking and subscribing and turn on the notification bell. Yeah, that's right. And if you want more, make sure to like and subscribe. Whoa. Either way, I'll see you guys next video. Be brave. Definitely.